Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of wardrobe planning for 2026. If you haven't seen part 1, go check that out first, because that's really the basis and foundation for what we're doing today. In part 1, I walked you guys through my process of outlining my basic style elements and what I'm looking for in my wardrobe, and we also went through my closet to establish what I'm already working with and where my gaps are that I need to fill. And from that, I made a list. I realized after editing and posting that video that I didn't put my complete wardrobe gaps list on screen. So here's the one that I meant to put on screen last time and I forgot. I don't think it really took anything away from that last video, but I realized I left that out. So today I'm going to start the second half of my wardrobe planning process, which is taking that list of gaps in my wardrobe and making a plan to start actually filling those gaps. So I still have here with me my list, my cheat sheet of all of my basic style elements that I think encapsulate my personal style. And then I did the same thing in collage form, just creating a really quick visual reference. And then the third thing that I have is my handwritten list of all of the things that I want to add to my wardrobe, as well as things that I need to replace. So from there, I'm gonna take my little handwritten list and I'm gonna make another chart. That's right, we're making another chart. I mean, listen, if a little scrawled out handwritten list works for you and you just want to pin that up on a bulletin board to work with throughout the year, that works too. That's great. You can do that. But I wanted to break it down a little bit further to help me with the search process by defining 3 key areas. The first one being the details of the garments that I'm looking for. So this is going to be things like fit, length, silhouette, specifications about the style of the garment. The second thing, where I intend to acquire it. So most of these things, pretty much all of these things, I am going to be looking for secondhand first, but am I going to be looking for it secondhand in a brick and mortar store? Am I gonna go straight to online secondhand sources? What are the things that I think I can make if I don't find them secondhand? And then the third category is my timeline. So most of these items are things that I will probably wear throughout the year, so I can really acquire them anytime, but a few of these are more seasonally specific. So for those, I wanted to specify what time of year I should start prioritizing them in my search so that I can utilize them in their corresponding season. So I'm not gonna spell out this whole list for you. I will put it on screen at some point so that you guys can read through my list if you want, if that helps you figure out what to do with your own list, or if you're just nosy and want to know what my list says. Both of those are valid, but I'll walk you guys through maybe like 3 of these things on this list to kind of explain the process of how I broke this down. So let's start at the very top with the red dress. In the details, I want to further expand on what do I mean by a red dress, because that's really broad, right? I specifically want something that is sleeveless but not spaghetti strap. I prefer in my dresses a more fitted bodice and a fuller skirt. Could be gathered, could be more of a fit and flare shape. I'm not really sure. I also know that I want a longer length, probably not maxi, but below the knees, probably mid-calf, so midi length. So obviously this is an item that I'm gonna be pretty picky with the details of. That means when it comes to searching for this item, I definitely will check the thrift store, but I don't really expect to find it at my local thrift stores. I would be thrilled to be proven wrong on that, but just in my experience with what I usually see at the thrift store, it's very unlikely that I'm going to find something that fits my specifications or is able to be altered to fit my specifications. Checking the thrift store is my first step for the red dress. I will also be checking online secondhand options. Again though, because I'm so picky, I don't know how likely it is that I'll find one. But after exhausting my secondhand options, I probably will check a couple of online retailers to potentially buy it new. And then if after searching for maybe a month or so, I'm really just not finding anything, I will resort to making it myself. The main reason I don't have making it myself higher up on the list really just comes down to the cost and time efficiency. Right now, with how much a good fabric can cost, as well as how much time it would take me to make that dress to a standard that I would be happy with, it might actually be worth it to spend the money to buy it new up to a certain price point. I haven't quite determined that upper limit yet, but I'm not going to worry about it right this second because on my timeline, I have decided that probably mid-April getting into May is about when I want to start prioritizing searching for this item. I definitely could make use of a red dress right now, but it's really not top of mind at the moment. There are other things that I think I would like to add sooner, whereas a black sweater is something that I would like to add as soon as possible. My specifications for a black sweater are a little bit more vague. I know that I want a pullover. I already have a black cardigan, so I don't need that. I want a pullover, most likely a crew neck, and then something that is the same knit pattern all the way around. I really dislike when stuff has a design on the front and not the back. Something that's not super baggy, but also not a slim fit. I don't really want like a tight fitting black sweater. And I do also like lantern sleeves and cable knit designs, but I'm not fixed on those. So I'm a little bit more flexible with my black sweater. I really just want something basic and plain that can go with a lot of items. Again, this is something that I think I should be able to thrift, hopefully. I don't know, a lot of times at the thrift store, I end up seeing black sweaters that always have like some weird design quirk that like I don't know who asked for that. Very, very questionable design choices, which might be why they're at the thrift store, but it can be done. So I will be looking for that in a brick and mortar store first. And then if I cannot find it there, I will be searching online through secondhand options. This is one that I should be able to find somewhere secondhand online. I don't think I'll need to resort to buying it new because again, it's such a basic item. I feel like there should being the key word. There should be plenty of options. Might end up having to pay a little bit more than I would like to get the design elements that I want, but I think it can be done. And like I said, this is an item that I would like to get as soon as possible so that I can wear it for the rest of the cold months that we have. For something like a black vest, I don't have any specifications written out here because I can't really think of too many off the top of my head. So I just left it blank for now, and this is something that I might fill in later as I begin shopping for this and looking for this and start to notice what I do and don't like. So don't feel like you have to have every category completely filled out. Just write in whatever's going to help you. Whatever's going to help you prioritize your time and money for the corset tops that I would like to add to my wardrobe. The only thing I have in the category of where to acquire it is that I'm going to make them. These are not likely to be found at the thrift stores. I'm going to level with you. Out in the sticks where I live, there's not too many. I did find one. I found one at my junkiest local thrift store back in September. It was a unicorn. It was an absolute unicorn, but that is not likely to happen. With every single item on this list, I am still keeping an eye out for them at my local thrift stores, but some of them, like corset tops, I have low hopes of finding. So they're lower in priority on what's on my radar. And I am planning to make a bunch for myself. That is going to be probably the next big sewing project I tackle. So I didn't even bother writing thrift in there because once I make a bunch of them, I won't need any more. I'm hoping to make enough that I am satiated and I don't need any more and I can just call it good. A few of these items are very specific, particularly if there's something that I am replacing. Like I have a pair of green cargo pants that I thrifted that are originally from Lulu's. I like them a lot, but they only fit like 1 week out of the month. The joys of having a uterus. I would like to just replace them in one size up because I do really like them. So that is something that I'm gonna jump straight to thrifting for online because I know the brand, I know the style. I can just hone in my search right on that item. And then I think the last thing I want to mention from this list are down at the bottom, just jeans. I think this has been a thing for me for like 3 years now that I really need to replace my jeans and I'm really dragging my feet on it because I hate shopping for jeans. I really like jeans, but I find them very difficult to shop for, to thrift for. I have a hard time finding ones that I like the way that they fit on me. So that is why the vague category of jeans is on there. I don't need to replace all of them, but I have probably 2 or 3 that could do with replacing. So hopefully that makes sense. That's my list. Again, we're just spelling out the design details that we're looking for if there is anything specific. If not, that's fine to leave it broad and open-ended. Where I would like to source those items listed in priority order. And then lastly, how soon I would like to acquire those items. Most of these I could get anytime. Because I'm not trying to acquire everything now this month. I'll probably pick 3 or 4 things to hone in on for the next couple of months and then cycle that out as I acquire things or as we move through the year. So with that list made, our next step is to go to the thrift store. That's the fun part. So in a couple of days, I'm going to take you with me when I go up the road to one of our bigger thrift stores where they have tons of stuff, and I'll talk you guys through what I would do to really focus my search and make the best use of my time there using this list that we have created. And then after we thrift in person, we'll move on to thrifting online. So, see you there. Don't forget to wear comfy clothes, bring a snack, bring a water. So I don't know if this is my own particular neuroses or an actual thrifting hack. If I go to the thrift store on a day that I don't actually really want to be out thrifting, I have an easier time sticking to my list. So I have a short list here of the categories that I'm gonna prioritize so that I don't waste time looking through everything. Yeah, I really don't want to be out. I really don't want to be dealing with crowds. But anyway, let's get this over with. If you have the time and energy, it can be worth it to look through all the sections and all the sizes, since sometimes things get categorized incorrectly, or you can wear something differently than it was originally intended, or you can even find things to alter in a random category. I usually take this approach at smaller thrift stores that are poorly organized, but this one is huge and relatively well organized. For example, they have tops sorted by long sleeve versus short sleeve versus collared button-ups, etc. Even skirts are sorted together based on length, which was great since I did not have the energy to be out there more than a couple hours. This thrift store also usually has a good selection of linens and fabrics, so I stopped in that section first. I didn't find anything to make any of the items on my wish list, but I did find a lot of good fabrics for other projects. When browsing the sweater section, I tried to focus my eyes on only the black sweaters rather than looking through everything on the rack like I normally would. The same applies to the dresses and skirts. I focused on only looking at dresses in red or black and skirts in black, which allowed me to move more quickly through the aisles. Putting metaphorical blinders on to ignore the colors and patterns you aren't aiming for will help with both efficiency and reducing impulse spending. Unfortunately, this approach doesn't quite work with jeans though. I did have to look at every pair across a wide size range to see if it was in a cut and a wash that I liked, if it looked like it might fit me, and if it had any distressing or embellishments that I didn't want. I found 8 potential candidates in the jeans section, but none of them worked out. I feel like I'm constantly trying on jeans at the thrift store to no avail, so I'm about ready to just see what's available at Target next time I go. So that was kind of a bust as far as the categories that I needed to check, so I'm wondering if the colloquial advice of January being the best time to thrift is a lie, because it was a little picked over and I was getting a little stressed out, so apologies for my B-roll in thrift stores never being that great. I tried. I really did try. But I did find a really good amount of fabric and linens to repurpose for fabric, so I can at least show you guys that. I'm actually pretty pleased with all the fabrics I found, despite being disappointed in all of the other categories that I searched. I decided to try another smaller thrift store the following day, since I had an appointment in that area, but again, I was disappointed by the lack of options and the overall chaotic feeling of the environment. While I'm waiting in line at the drive-thru, I guess I'll give you guys a little update. I did stop at my usual go-to spot for thrifting locally. That was an absolute bust. They did some renovations this past year that made it super junky and just really difficult to shop there. But I checked, I looked, but it was chaotic. I didn't even film. I didn't even grab a cart or anything. I don't know why it's so busy. It's literally a Tuesday. Shopping at smaller spots like that is gonna be different though, depending on how they organize. Like the really big one that I went to yesterday, they organize by type down to small categories. This local tiny one doesn't. So all of the tops, whether it's sweaters, cardigans, blouses, whatever, t-shirts even, they're all in one section. So it's like, well, if you wanted sweaters, good luck, you're just gonna have to look through everything. I tried to just hone in on looking at everything that was black, seeing if I could find a black sweater. I did not, and I was getting really stressed out. People were being extra crazy today. I don't know what's going on. Actually, before coming here, I stopped at the TJ Maxx that was by my appointment. I was having better luck at TJ Maxx. and similar, if not better, prices to what you find at the thrift store. Listen guys, I know we love to shop secondhand first and all that, but when TJ Maxx is giving me better options for the same price. So anyway, I think that's all I'm gonna do filming of the brick and mortar thrifting process. We're gonna move on to trying a few options online. So my first thrift outing of the year was kind of a bust as far as acquiring anything off of my list. Excellent fabric haul, so I guess I can't be too mad about that. But I guess I was just naively hopeful that I would find at least one of the things on this list because they are so basic and universal and normally easy to find. But another option at my disposal is, of course, thrifting online. Now, I'm gonna really just touch on this very quickly. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it because, one, I don't do that much thrifting online. I do prefer being able to feel the items in person, try them on in person. I hate having to pay shipping to get stuff. It doesn't work, and then either having to ship it back and pay for shipping, or I'm just stuck with an item that I don't like. So I use this sparingly, but I do use it, so I figured we'd touch on it. And another reason I'm gonna speed run this is because I don't feel good. I am coming down with something, and I could wait till it's run its course to film the end of this video, but that'll be like 2 more weeks, and I don't want to do that. So again, this is going to be like very surface level. I'm sorry, it's not going to be more in depth or more tips and tricks. I don't have them. I don't have tips and tricks. This is just presenting other options. So for the items I'm looking for that are a little bit more vague, like I'm going to go with the black sweater for my example. As much as I have issues with them, I do still use ThredUp from time to time. They are good for setting up saved searches. I think their prices are crazy, but I can't deny that they're good for accessibility and options, because not everyone can make it to the thrift store on a regular basis, sometimes not at all. So this is a great option if you just need somewhere to browse. So I do still use ThredUp for those broader searches. So for something like a black sweater where I have things that I'm looking for, but I'm not super picky about it, this is going to be the perfect place to set up a saved search. So let me start my screen recording. So I'm going to go to women's clothing. Let's see. Sweaters, and at the top they have a couple categories that you can click on and browse. That's cool, but I'm not going to do that today. Let's go to sizes. Can I change the size for this? I don't want to edit my size, but I do want to add a couple sizes to what I'm looking for. Then I'm going to go down to style. I want a pullover. I don't think I want a turtleneck, and I don't want a cardigan. Don't care about the brand, but I do care about the price. I'm going to limit the price to $30 because past that point I might as well just go to Target because that's about what their sweaters are costing. So I'm going to set it to 30. Color, black, obviously. Neckline, how picky do I want to be with this? You know what though, there's a few that I definitely don't want, so I might as well check off the ones that I'm cool with. Like I don't think I want a V-neck black sweater. So I'm gonna click on crew neck. Scoop is fine. I don't think I want cowl. Boat neck is fine. I don't want off the shoulder. I don't want cold shoulder. I don't think I want square or keyhole, but mock neck would be fine. That should still give me quite a few options. And then material, as much as it might be tempting to go in and select stuff with only natural material, on ThredUp, that might potentially limit your options a lot because they mislabel things a lot. Like even adding the filters that I've already added could be accidentally weeding out stuff that they've labeled wrong. So just be aware the filters are great, but they mislabel stuff. So sometimes by being very specific, you accidentally can miss some items that actually fit your criteria. That's why I don't want to be super specific, but I think I'm still keeping it broad enough that I should have some good options. Oh yeah, like I did not select Henley, but there's a Henley right there. That's fine. That's fine. Pattern. I don't want a pattern, so I'm gonna go down and check off solid. Okay, let's see what that leaves us with. How many? Okay, oh, only 250? That seems like not a lot. You know, it's probably the price filter that is making it so few. Now, as you can see, probably, I'm assuming you can see, just scrolling through this, like nothing jumps out at me. This is so like just a sea of basic nothing burger sweaters because they don't photograph well. A lot of clothing items in black on ThredUp just don't photograph well, and I find myself having to click on all of them. So let's click on this one and see what this is about. Like that one has, oh, I like the neckline. I like the slight lantern shape to the sleeve. Okay, that's not bad. Actually, this is not bad at all. A little bit short, just a smidge cropped, mostly cotton, a little bit of wool. That's not bad actually. Flawed gem. What does that mean? Like, what are we talking about? So I'm not sure, but that one actually looks pretty good. $24 is more than I want to pay for a sweater, but I'm going to save it to consider for later because sometimes they run sales. So yeah, this is something that like I definitely need to just sift through on my own time. Ooh, that texture is gross. Oh, I hate that. Ew. I wish that there was an option to like not show me this item ever again because I don't like it. Okay, sorry, I'm getting like sucked into looking at sweaters. Oh, that's like hoodie material. I don't want that. This is something that will take me a while to sift through. I'm not gonna do that right now. So instead, I'm gonna go down here to this little button that says Save Search. Then it takes it to my saved searches and it's right there. If you click on the little 3 dots over here and go to edit preferences, you can change how often they notify you about new additions to this. I usually turn off emails and push notifications because I think it's annoying. For this one, I might not though, because I do want to cross this off my list as soon as possible. So having notifications about new additions to this search will be helpful for me. So that's generally what I use ThredUp for, is those broader categories. Like in the past, I've had searches set up for just midi length black dresses or white dresses or just something that's a broader category. It is also a good spot to just filter it by brand and just any type of clothing or accessory that is from that brand. That's a good place to set up those searches as well. And again, I'm really picky with what I do buy from them because they're so dang expensive, but it can be worth a look. I did want to throw in here something weird I noticed while opening my saved search on the ThredUp app versus on my laptop using the browser. Despite having the price set to $30, tons of items were being shown to me that were way above that price point. Maybe this is just a glitch and not some slimy sales tactic. Maybe we should give them the benefit of the doubt, but it was incredibly frustrating. Like, what are these doing here? But for things that are more specific, I like to go to either Poshmark or eBay. Those are the places that I'm most familiar with online shopping for clothing. Please let me know what you guys prefer for online secondhand shopping. I know there's so many other options that I have not even really tried out. I think I tried Depop in the past and I found it a little confusing. Like I would heart an item and then next thing I know I'm getting a message from the seller like calling me babe and I was like, this is too much, I don't know you. So eBay I like because it's the OG. It's pretty straightforward, like here's the thing, here's the information. Poshmark I'm trying to get the hang of, but it's a little chaotic. But I think places like this are gonna be better for those super specific things. So I'm gonna look for, let's go with the pair of Aerie leggings that I'm trying to replace. So I know the exact thing that I'm looking for, so I can just hone in on that. So I'm gonna go Aerie offline legging. Should I say leggings? I want to change category to women's and I want crossover and they have a pocket. So I'm gonna select that as well. That's kind of nice. I don't remember seeing that on the app. And then can I change the size? I don't want all sizes. Oh wait, I forgot to refine by color. Okay, so let's see, $14. I might make an offer on that right now after I stop recording. So yeah, already just typing in those couple of keywords and then refining it by color and some of the features. There's quite a few options for me to look through, so I can either save that search or just make a decision right here and now, which honestly I might just do that. I don't think I need to save this search. I do have a couple saved searches on Poshmark as well for broader things like brands that I like, but I kind of find the interface of Poshmark really chaotic and hard to figure out. I don't know, like there's always just so much stuff visually happening on the screen. I'm like, why are we like this? And then eBay is another one that I like to use as well. I'm not going to search for anything on here right now. I mostly use it, as you can see, to look for like sewing patterns. A couple years ago, there was a really specific sweater I was looking for that I originally saw on Poshmark. It sold though, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. So then I hopped over to eBay and searched for it and found it. So that's another great option for those specific things. I don't find myself browsing on eBay or Poshmark. It just kind of feels too chaotic, but They are great for honing in on specific things. Again, please let me know your preferred online thrifting spots, because I am definitely open to trying new options, especially if they work better than the ones I'm currently using. I was gonna do a third section to this video talking about making sewing plans and alteration plans. I don't think I'm gonna do that today because this video is probably long enough. Probably long enough. I am so sick of how long YouTube videos are getting lately. Like, videos that could have been 20 minutes are turning into like 45-minute epic sagas that they don't need to be, and no, I'm not here for it. But I do want to potentially return to that in a future video, looking through what I currently have that can be altered to better fit the style elements list and the collage that I made, and just further bring things into alignment with that. But that can be saved for another day. For now, I'm just gonna set up a few saved searches on these websites, and then I will just keep looking through these categories when I go to the thrift store every now and then. So what is your number one item on your thrifting wish list right now, on your list of things to add to your wardrobe this year? I'm curious what you guys are looking for or trying to make. Are you trying to thrift something specific? Are you trying to make something specific? If you made it to the end of this video, leave a bow emoji. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure that you subscribe if you'd like to hang out again, and I will see ya when I see ya. All right, time for more tea. Bye.